we're live. Welcome back to another episode of The Market Made Easy with the Maxwell Group. We are here today with Courtney Osterfelt.
That's right.
You got it right.
Hey, everyone.
With the Launchpad. We have chosen, with tax season
Upon us.
In case you didn't know, you can donate, and there are certain limits, but to certain organizations, and those can be used as an actual tax credit on your Arizona taxes. And so we decided with April 15th just around the corner that we would spend the month of March talking with leaders of those organizations that people can donate some of their tax dollars to.
Great.
And get that tax credit and help out some awesome organizations. So Courtney, again, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, break it down for us. What is the Launchpad?
What is the Launchpad? So the Launchpad is a youth-driven space. We're a nonprofit teen center, and what that means is that we have teens in every level of decision-making at the Launchpad to help us run after-school programs, a tutoring center, summer camps, an internship program, community service programs, everything. So in a nutshell, we've got 6 teens on our board of directors.
Wow.
That range from the age 13 to the age 18, and they are voting members of our board.
Wow.
Just the same as all of our adults. So
Okay.
they truly help hold us accountable to our mission, and they get this incredible leadership opportunity.
That's really amazing right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I did not know about that, and yeah, that's a tremendous opportunity for young people to really see the inner workings of an organization.
Absolutely. And it's truly the magic of what we do, and it's a tremendous opportunity for the adults as well, because I think it's really easy for adults to just assume that they all understand what they're talking about, and the teens say, well, what does that mean? And, we just bought a warehouse that we're going to be moving the Launchpad into. And so now we have 6, 13 to 18-year-olds who understand what a close of escrow is, understand how to buy a commercial property, and really called our adults to the carpet by saying, can you explain that process? Can you define that?
It's
really cool.
I mean, I was in my mid to late 20s when I was in my first board meeting, and I had no idea what was supposed to go on in there. And so, to give kids an opportunity like that is really tremendous.
It's great, and it really helps us show up for the teens in town, because so on the board, those teens help us with, they decide if I get a raise as the executive director. They help decide what we do with our budget, how we allocate our funds, and then what programs are important to teens. And they're like these incredible ambassadors that go out into their schools and ask all their peers, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And then they come back and let us know.
Yeah, and I think that's one criticism that the town tends to have, is that there's not enough things that are being focused on young people.
Right.
And, this is going to show there are people that are actually trying to make those things happen,
Right.
and that's really important.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that youth-driven piece trickles all the way down into how we run after school hours. So we're open every single day from 2:30 until 6:30, and then on Wednesdays, because Wednesday is early release for the middle school, we're open from 1 until 6:30. And the teens there are leaders as well. I mean, they come in, they have access to healthy snacks, school supplies, free tutoring, art supplies. They don't have to ask permission to use the art room. They don't have to ask permission to pull a guitar off the wall and start playing. But they do have responsibilities with that. It's like if you use the art room, you got to clean your brushes so they don't dry out. If you get free snack, you've got to wash your dishes. And when they don't fulfill those responsibilities, there's consequences. Every parent here knows the battle with dishes. And just the other day, this girl named Ruth, so smart, she's 14 years old, and said, I think I can solve the dish problem. Do you mind if I take charge? And I was like, no problem. So we serve about 40 kids a day. So in front of 40 kids during open circle, she said, I'm implementing a solution to the dish problem. If you want a dish and you want snack, you have to check in an item of importance, and then you can get a dish. So people check in their shoe, their cell phone, their book bag.
It's a great idea.
Their tablet. And it's worked. It's worked for like 2 months now. We have not had a dish problem, and a 14-year-old came up with that. I was like, yes.
There's hope for the future,
There's
people.
hope. It was awesome.
It really, truly is.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
how did you get into this field? Like what made you go, this is what I want to do?
Well, I came here initially to go to Prescott College, and that's where I went to school. And I initially was studying environmental studies, and then I got interested in human development and adolescent psychology. So I started studying that, and in that program, I learned that I started volunteering. Prescott College requires you to be of service in the community, so I started volunteering my senior year, or close to my senior year, and realizing that there was a lack of services for youth in Prescott. And the town is really orchestrated around athletics for youth, and at the time it was athletics and church, and it's really expanded. And neither athletics or church are bad, but if you don't do one of those two things, then there's
You're
a
out of luck.
gap for you.
Yeah.
There's a movie theater and an arcade in Prescott.
Yeah, and there's a downtown square, which you run around unsupervised, which isn't always good. So I started thinking about youth empowerment stuff, and specifically stuff around for teenage girls. So I started a program for teenage girls when I was 23 years old as my senior project at Prescott College, and that really took off. It's the leadership program. And that's still going. So that's been going for 17 years now.
Wow.
And through that program, it's really cool. Every April we have about 40 to 50 teenage girls who come up to Mingus Mountain, and we do everything from setting healthy boundaries, making friends, understanding your family, leadership, understanding your body as a teenage girl, all kinds of cool stuff. But I kept hearing from our teenage girls, well, my brothers need something, and I've got cousins who need something, and can you have, it's called the Web Conference, our girls program, can you have web every single weekend? Can you have a place for us to go after school? So they're very articulate in telling you what they need. And so from there we decided, let's try to start a teen center. And so about 5 years ago, I had an opportunity. My grandmother passed away, and she was super philanthropic and really, always every year provided a scholarship for one girl to go to our leadership camp. And she left me $13,000, which I didn't anticipate because she was my step grandma. So it didn't feel like it was my money. She left it for me, and it was her money. So what could we do with it? So we decided to take that $13,000 and we used that to start the Launchpad. And we thought, if the Launchpad cannot thrive after a year on its own, then it's time to reevaluate. So for 1 year, we pulled together a board of teenagers and adults. We had big community meetings with everyone from the people from the probation office to the superintendent of schools and everybody in between, and teenagers and parents, trying to figure out what does this community really need in a teen center. And if we can't pull this off in a year, then we'll reevaluate. And after a year's worth of time, we went from having a $300 budget to having I think in our first year we grew to like a $70,000 budget.
Wow.
And it grows every year. We serve more and more kids every year. We have more opportunities every year. It's just awesome.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's amazing to see how fast you've grown and sustainably grown.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I've got an amazing board of directors, and this community is really incredible. It's a remarkably supportive community.
That's awesome.
Well, that was going to be my next question: is where do the majority of your funds come from?
Well, we're still so young, so I would say that I don't know this for sure, but from what I've gathered, I think the Launchpad is the fastest growing small nonprofit in Yavapai County. And because we're so young, we don't qualify for a lot of grants yet. We're just getting to that age where we are old enough to qualify for grants, but the majority of our funds come from, we host fundraising events, private donations. We have an incredible program called Ground Control, which at the Launchpad, space themed. Everything's got to be space themed. So Ground Control is members of the community who give transactionally. So Guild Mortgage, Danelle Riggs, who works with Guild Mortgage, you all know her.
She's been on our show.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she gives, for every mortgage and loan, she gives $100. Cody Ann, who's a realtor, gives $100 for every house she sells. We have a massage therapist who gives $5 for every massage she gives. And so people
It's really
contribute.
amazing.
It's amazing. People contribute monthly like that. In exchange, we promote their businesses. They get, front row seating at our events, and they get a cool name badge that says Major, whatever their first name is, Major Joy, Major
cool.
Major Danelle. It's fun. We try to keep things fun so people want to stay involved and support our teens.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Yeah.
with it being an after-school program, what about during summer vacations?
We have 5 different summer camps that are awesome. This summer we're offering a new one called DJ Camp.
Okay.
So teens get to work with local DJs and learn how to, I don't know all the lingo. I'll have to go to camp, but mix records. Work the turntables.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so we've got DJ camp. We have an outdoor adventure camp where they go rock climbing and canoeing, and they go on a backpacking trip. We have a makers camp, which is really cool. So there's, Prescott's full of talented artisans, incredible artists all throughout town. So every 2 days, our teens work with a different artist, and they learn their trade. And then at the end of makers camp, the teens have all of these cool things that they've made, and we go to the farmers market, and they can sell what they've made, and they get to keep the money that they earn from that. So it's a great experience for teens to learn. Like a lot of them have a dream of, I want to be a professional artist. Well, what would that really look like to create art, place a value on it, and sell it?
Wow.
So it's a cool experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was your organization, but a friend of mine has a blacksmithing shop, and
Yes. Dylan.
yeah.
Yep, that's us.
Okay, so it was. I actually shot some video one day while
You
he
did?
was
That is
having
so
having
cool.
the kids over there, and that
Yeah,
was
we had,
really
like,
cool to watch.
13 kids over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all very well behaved around very, very hot metal. So they all were paying attention, and it was really cool to watch them go. I think they were making Father's Day gifts.
Yeah.
Was when he was had the kids over there, and it was really cool.
They were making cool like barbecue.
Yeah, like
tools
barbecue.
and-
Yeah.
Yep, it was awesome. Dylan's great with kids too.
He's a really cool guy.
Well, our insurance agent is always thinks I'm like trying to play a prank on him, because every year he's like, okay, what do you need coverage for this year? And last year I was like, we need coverage for blacksmithing. We're gonna go canoeing for 5 days in the Black Canyon. And he's like, what? I can't find a company who will cover all those things. Are you joking with me? No, I'm totally serious. Glass blowing, forgot that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how does a teen participate? So what is their parents' obligation?
Yeah.
What do the teens need to provide when they want to participate in all of this?
Well, teens is free to come to the launch pad. So teens can just show up. They don't have to have parental permission to come to our drop-in center. So they do have to have an emergency contact. But if they want to be involved in our programs, like if they want to go to a summer camp, we do need parent permission. So to get involved, we have a partnership with PUSD. We have an official partnership with them. It's incredible. So we're able to serve a lot of those kids through the schools. So a lot of the teachers know about us. A lot of our emails go out through the school district, and that's how people find out about us. And then the other piece is, the school district is helping us recruit, but also we have an academic mentorship program and a tutoring program that's an extensive program. It's free to them. And so if teens are struggling, a lot of those teachers will refer them to the launch pad, and then we get parent permission. We have access to their power school. We help communicate between teachers and students. So a lot of it is just, if you've got a teen and you're interested, you just show up to the launch pad and say, hey, we'll give you a tour. We'll get you the necessary paperwork for any programs that you want to do. But if you're a teen out there and you just want to check it out and come on by after school, there's like a mob of kids walking from Mile High every day and from Prescott High School. We also run a shuttle, and they can just show up and hang out, eat snack, make friends, see how we do things.
That's incredible. And so it's at no cost to the students.
At no cost. We make an ask for donations to parents
Sure.
for $25 a semester to help cover snacks.
Yeah.
But $25 a school semester is still
Very,
very affordable.
yeah, very reasonable.
Yeah, but we never turn a kid away.
It sounds like an amazing service.
It really, Yeah.
It really does.
And
I
needed.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
And really
much
needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I so appreciate you saying that. And the coolest thing about it is that people always say, oh, are you only for at-risk youth? No, we have all types of kids. You know, we've got such a diverse group of kids. We have kids who come from really well-resourced families. We have kids who are living in shelters. We have kids who make straight A's, kids who are failing. And the cool thing is they all come together and it's such a positive environment. And they all have so much ownership over our space that the teens are really the ones who hold each other accountable to keeping the environment safe, respectful, friendly, because they cherish it. And they learn profound things from each other in that process.
Wow. So how does the tax credit fall into all of this? When somebody donates the tax credit, first of all, can you explain what the tax credit is?
Sure.
And then, where do those dollars go when they arrive at your nonprofit?
Right. Okay. So the tax credit is certain organizations qualify for the Arizona Charitable Tax Credit, and those organizations have to serve majority working poor. So we're one of those organizations. We qualify. And it basically means that if you owe on your income tax, this is maybe the most simple way to explain it, but it does get a little more complicated. But if you owe $400 on your income tax, because the Launchpad is a charitable organization, you as an individual could donate to the Launchpad $400, and you would no longer owe that $400 to the state. So it's truly a dollar for dollar exchange on your income tax. Now, if you don't owe $400
On your state income tax.
Thank you for... Yes, on your state income tax.
It's a deduction on your federal tax.
And it is a deduction on your federal tax. Although, I think they actually changed that.
Did they?
You can no longer get a dollar for dollar credit and also deduct. They changed that.
Consult your tax professional.
Yes.
Yes.
But if you're a couple, you can donate up to $800 and get a dollar for dollar credit. Now, if you don't owe $800, you'll get more back on your return. So let's say you only owed $600 and you gave the $800. You'd get $600 as a dollar for dollar credit, and that additional $200 would help you get more on your return. So it's a no-brainer. It's like you can either write a check to the state and not know where those dollars go, or you can write a check to your favorite nonprofit, hopefully the Launchpad, and then you know exactly where those dollars go.
Yeah, and I think that's for somebody like me, that's really important. I like to have at least some kind of say.
Totally. Well, and Prescott is
pay a good amount of taxes, and I'd like to have a little bit of control over
it.
Of who's benefiting from it sometimes.
Absolutely. And Prescott's so relational and so personable that in Arizona we get this unique opportunity to really make even taxes personable and relational. And this most simple way, like you asked, where do those tax credit dollars go?
Yeah, where do they go?
So one really cool breakdown is that if you're a couple and you give your $800 to the tax credit, that $800 is the same as our rent for both the tutoring center and the drop-in center. So if you give $800, you're essentially paying for 1 month of free tutoring for around 50 kids a month, which is remarkable. So that $800 is so valuable to us and is so valuable to the lives of kids. And then if you give $800 and you decide, I want to earmark that for the drop-in center where art and music and foosball and fun craziness happens, you can earmark your $800 for that, and then you're servicing over 200 kids. Your $800 is serving 200 teens a month who walk through our door.
Wow.
Which is really cool. And then beyond, if you give your $400, that's healthy snack every day after school. That's really cool art programs. We go through art supplies like nobody's business, and lots of it gets donated, but teens are beyond the arts and craftsy phase. A lot of times we get construction paper donated or puff paint. Teens are they're wanting to dig into like real stuff,
fine arts,
totally, and paint and oil paints and
more experimental stuff.
Exactly.
And you said you had guitars there.
We have guitars.
You got to keep those strings on them and
totally
maintenance on all the instruments and
absolutely. And we go through school supplies. We have a pantry where teens can take school supplies as they need it. We also have a food pantry where some of our really low income teens, there's no questions asked, they can fill a bag with canned goods and produce to take home, because not all of our kids' parents are on access or go to the food bank. But those kids are hungry, and so it helps.
Gotta feed those kids.
Yeah,
feed them.
Absolutely.
Feed them.
They're hungry.
Totally. Then all of them are hungry.
They're teenagers.
They eat an
they're
insane amount of
teenagers.
food.
They're never not hungry.
Yeah, it's crazy. We go through so much food.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I only have one teenager, and
Yeah.
it's-
I'm sure your grocery bill is
it just
astronomically
gets
higher than it used to
bigger
be.
Every day.
single year.
Yep. Gotta keep up with that growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, have you seen the people that walk through the door to start, like maybe when you started, are they on the board now? Or, you know, what is that process? How do they get on the board? Like, do they
As a
just volunteer?
teenager?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, our staff is uniquely talented at recognizing leadership skills in teens. And I think one of our parents said it best recently. She was like, you know, I saw my kid as a leader, but he was never viewed that way at school because he's a little more quiet. He gets drowned out by there's hundreds of kids in the high school. And she said the Launchpad staff really saw my kid the way I saw my kid and approached him and said, we really think your leadership skills are valuable. Would you want to join the board? And then we coached them into that process. We would never set a kid up for failure. Mm-hmm. But a lot of our kids on the board are not your stereotypical leaders. They're not the kids who are president of student council and key club. We have some of those kids, but most of those kids are kids who came through our doors, benefited greatly, and now are incredibly loyal.
Wow.
And want to step up into that role because they see it happening around them at the Launchpad.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really rewarding and fun to watch happen.
Yeah.
We had the first president of our board, this was 4 years ago, his name was Ben. And Ben was incredibly shy when he first came to the Launchpad. He was in 8th grade. I don't think he spoke for a year. And he had really gone through some intense stuff in his own life at school, being severely bullied. He went to homeschooling because he school was not a positive place for him. And he joined the Launchpad, and then we talked him into joining the board. He became our board president. Now he's graduated. He's traveled all over the world. He's going to college, and he comes back to speak at some of our events, and he always volunteers when he's back. And his mom was like, I really wondered for a while if he would ever speak or step into a role because he was so shut down. And Ben is one of our best public speakers.
That's amazing
It's really,
to hear that transformed him.
Yeah, and I do think it's our staff, but I also think it's the environment that we create where teens uplift each other. And, teens expect adults to be good people, even though we fail at that. But, if you're a teacher, they expect you to believe in them. If you're an adult and you're running the youth center, they expect me to believe in them. They don't always expect their peers to believe in them, but we really create an environment where we teach teens to uplift each other, to tell each other when they believe in each other, and that is exponentially more impactful than if I say, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the acknowledgement of your peers is one of the most powerful forces in all of the universe. It's something about the way the human brain works.
Yes, yeah.
That, encouragement and from people who aren't inside your peer group is great, but being acknowledged by those who are that you're eye to eye with is so incredibly important.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And I don't think teens are always encouraged to do that with each other unless they're in their immediate friend group.
Yeah, they're small little small little circles of friends is one thing, but having an ability to expand that is the best.
And often, honestly, life-changing for some of our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have an event coming up.
Yes, we do. Thank you for asking about that.
Yes.
It's such a cool event. It's called Share the Love. And it's, we usually host it in February, but we had crazy snowstorm.
Snowmageddon.
Yes, Snowmageddon, the snowpocalypse, all kinds of cute names for that. So we moved it out to March. So it's March 23rd, which is a Saturday. It's in our new building that we just bought, which is right now a blank canvas, just a warehouse. But we've turned it into a swanky event space. It looks beautiful. And it's no cost to attend. So that is possible because Michael Yarns and Cody Ann Yarns, who own Home Right and Rent Right, sponsor the entire thing so that if you come and you make a contribution, 100% of your contribution goes right to the Launchpad Teen Center.
Yeah.
So to attend, all you have to do is just give me a call, 928-632-2996. Look up the Launchpad, email me or call and say, hey, we want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And it is formal, but it's Prescott formal. So some people will show up in their nice jeans and their
snazzy cash.
Yes, exactly. And some people will take the opportunity to get really fancy. But our teens will present. There's music, there's wine, food.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a fun atmosphere and a fun party and a great way to share the love with youth in our community.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going. So
Yes, I'm so glad.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me.
Give your contact information again, and then where can we find you if for some reason a young person happens upon this video and they don't know where you're located.
Great.
Or more likely parents will see this and see some value
Right.
for their students. Where can we find you?
So we are located on the corner of Sheldon and Grove currently. That's where both the drop-in center and the tutoring center is. There are two little brick houses next to each other. So that's 302 Grove Avenue. And you'll see a blue sign up front with our little astronaut guy. It says the Launchpad. You can also find us on the internet. So the launchpadteencenter.org. Yeah.
Great. And then one more time for your phone number.
928-632-2996.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for coming in. And yeah, we really do encourage you if you, if this sparks some interest in you or just a desire to get involved, get in touch with Courtney, even if it's, just a financial donation, which I'm sure are greatly appreciated. But
Absolutely.
If there's other ways that you can get involved or feel inspired to get involved, I'm sure you guys are always
gosh.
needing volunteers as well.
We need shuttle drivers, tutors, committee members, foosball players, people who want to do art, all kinds of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can drum up some extra support for you. And again, we just really do appreciate you being here today.
I really appreciate you inviting me. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Absolutely.
That's it for today. Again, show your support. Super important for our community. And until next week, I'm Kellen Hoskins with Carissa Maxwell. Have a fantastic evening. See you next week.
Bye.